Hello and welcome to this video. In this tutorial, we'll be giving you a short demonstration on how to use Keyshade in your local projects. So here we have Keyshade open, and you can open the same from app.keyshade.xyz. In case you don't already have an account, go ahead and sign up for one. Once you have signed up, you'll be greeted with the screen in here. Oops. And then here you would have all of your workspaces. Workspaces are organizational units that allow you to separate your boundaries. So you can create multiple workspaces from here, but we'd be working on just one. Then you would have projects. Projects allow you to create and manage configurations, so secrets, variables, and the environments that they would hold the value for. You can have a lot more things, but we'll not be covering all of them in the video. So in order to get started with Keyshade, you would also need to have the CLI installed. So there is a video for that, and the link is in the description below, so you can go ahead and check that out. Now what we would like to do is we'd go ahead and then first set up our CLI to directly talk to Keyshade. So in order to do that, just go over here in profiles and scroll down to API keys and create one. I would name this let's say demo. I would set the expiration to never, and I would select all of these values. You can select the ones that you want. I would select all of them for this demonstration, and I would create the API key. I would copy this and I'll open up my favorite terminal. So in my case, this is I'm on Mac, so I'll just open up my Shish terminal. So in here we'd be using the Keyshade profiles command. So Keyshade profile create in, and then the profile name, which I'll specify as demo. I'll specify the API key, the one that we just created, and I would set this as the default profile. So setting this as a default, make sure that this is the profile that Keyshade CLI uses to make all of your API requests. So default. So yes, I think I already have a profile by that name, so I have to override it. You won't be having that, so now we'd be going ahead and then creating the profile on our CLI. So in our favorite terminals, go ahead and then run Keyshade profile create, the name of the profile, which I'll be specifying as demo, the API key that we just got from the platform, and I would also set this as default. Setting it as default allows you to make all of the successive requests using this profile only. You can change this later when you want to. So default and now we can see that our profile has been created successfully. You can verify this using the Keyshade workspace list command, which fetches the list of all of the workspaces that you have. I have two. You'd be having one if you just started off with Keyshade. So now I would give you a walkthrough of the goals of our Next.js app that we would be using for this demonstration. You can use any language that you want to, but to keep things simple, we'd stick with our Next.js application. So in here, you see that this is a very basic Next.js app that we have. So so when we go into the page.tsx file, we find that we just have two lines that we've just added. So the first one is a secret, which is the token, and then the second one is a variable, so which is a port number, and we'd be setting these things up on our Keyshade platform. So now we would like to go back to Keyshade, and we'd go back to dashboard, and now we'll actually create a project. So a project allows you to maintain all of your environments, like we already mentioned. So let's name this demo, and the access level would stay as private, which makes sure that no one else can access this project. We'd not store our private key. You can read more about what private key does in our documentation. But let this stay as default as well. Environments allow you to add the value of any configuration that you have. So now we'll create this project. So hit on create project, and as you can see, the project has been created. So I'll just copy this configure project command, and this is important for you to set up the project on your local device. So this is totally agnostic to whatever language that you are using to test this demo. So this is not specific to Next.js. So I would just copy that command and I would paste this in my project root. So once I press enter, I would see that the project has been configured successfully, and I can verify that using this keyshade.json file that just got created. And as you can see, we have all of the configurations in here that we want. Then what we would like to do is we'd now start adding these values onto Keyshade. So the first thing we'd add is the port number. So I would copy this and I would go back to here, I would close this, and I would go into our newly created project. Once this is open, I would go to the variables tab, which we have in here, and I would hit on create variable. Now I would specify the name that we have in our application, and I would specify a value. Let's take the value 8000, and I would hit on create variable. So now the variable has been created and the value has been set to default, as you can see. Let's remove this out of the way, and I would go back to our application now. Now the things start become now things start getting interesting. So we'd run the Next.js app using our Keyshade CLI. So what we need to do for that is we'd use Keyshade run and the npm run dev command, which is used to run any Next.js project that you have. So we'll press on enter, and as you can see, it runs quite a few things on the background, and finally it starts running your Next.js app. For my case, it's served on port 3000. It might be something different on your device if you have configured it like that. And as you can see, we have the port value set to 8000 that we have previously set on our the one that we have set on our platform. So what if we want to update this value? It's simple, just right click on it, hit on edit, go into this section, and let's say we want to set the value as 4000. So set the value as 4000 and save the changes. Now this changes would be directly reflected into your application without the hassle of reloading it in your CLI. So we just press command R, and as you can see, the value got updated. Now we'd like to add a secret. Secrets are something that are secure by nature, so they are encrypted and stored onto our databases. No one can decrypt it without the private key, and in our case, the private key is with us. The database doesn't have the private key. So now we just go ahead and then create a secret. So head over to the secrets tab, and okay, just let's copy this value first, and we'll create a secret. We'll specify the name and then specify your value. Let's say super secret, and I would press on add secret, and this would add the secret in here. And as you can see, the value is encrypted and there's no way to see this unless you have the private key with you. So now what we'd like to do is we'd again go back to this application, and as you can see, when we refresh this app, it's not refreshing. Oh my god. So now that we have created the secret, we'd go back into our application and we'd press command R, and as you can see, the value just got reflected in here. Now we'd like to, let's say, revert back this value to what it was earlier. So we'd again go back to variables and then right click on this and select the show version history, and when we collapse this, we'd see that it has. So that's all. That's the very basic of using Keyshade on your device locally. and that's how you set up your applications using Keyshade. Hope you liked it.